In today's video, we are talking about how the pyramids were built. There is a new theory that may make some of the other theories completely invalidated. This is the one that I have been waiting for, guys. You ready? Let's go. The idea that ancient Egyptians built the pyramids with massive stone blocks hundreds of tons in weight, quarried from distant locations and transported across the Nile Delta, is now over 100 years old. It's an attractive theory, but all of its major elements have been disproved except for the quarry locations of the stones. This is due to the fact that geologists discovered that all the stones used for the Great Pyramid were indeed quarried at Tura, and that all the stones used for the other two pyramids were quarried at Giza. However, how these stones were transported to the building sites remains a mystery. The traditional theory being promoted by Egyptologists proposes that huge ramp systems were constructed and used to drag and roll the limestone blocks to their final destinations. Unfortunately, the available evidence is against this idea. For example, there are no traces of ramps anywhere around the pyramids, nor do we have any examples of ancient Egyptians making use of such structures at other building projects. So what were they thinking? Well, it's time to dig up some brand new ideas. And a new idea has come onto the scene. And this idea is so good that it just might eliminate many of the other ideas that have been floating around out there as possibilities. The video, How Did the Pharaohs Build the Pyramids? New Theory, breaks down every single theory about how the pyramids were built, including the level system, which I think has gotten the most traction out of all the new ideas. But the problem with the level system is it creates more questions than it answers. For example, why would they cut off the top of the pyramid so abruptly? Or how did they manage to set them on an angle so precisely? It's hard to imagine someone setting a 60-ton block into place without some sort of sophisticated engineering feat. The internal ramps idea also has its own share of problems. The main one being that there is zero evidence of such structures having existed, not a single trace of them, which is really odd, because if they did exist right, we should be able to find some kind of evidence of them, right? They would have left some sort of mark on the landscape. There is also the sled idea, which, okay, that one is pretty feasible, I will say, but there's still one major problem with it. If you're going to drag massive stone blocks across the desert, you're going to need some serious manpower. We're talking tens of thousands of people to pull this off, which brings us back to where we started. Where's the evidence? We should be able to find traces of these sled tracks in the desert, but we don't. The internal ramp and the sled idea both require tens of thousands of workers to move the stones, which creates another problem. How would they have fed these tens of thousands of workers? The logistics of feeding a workforce of that size would have been a challenge in itself. We know that during the construction of the pyramids, there was a settlement that popped up near the foot of the pyramids, which suggests that there were workers nearby who were constructing the pyramids. But nowhere in our records does it suggest that there was a settlement that could feed tens of thousands of people. It's just not possible. So what am I missing here? The video does a great job of outlining all the issues with these traditional theories, but it doesn't offer up its own solution. What it does do is get you thinking, which is half the battle. When I watched this video, I was nodding my head in agreement with everything he was saying. He's got some really great points. Now, I'm sure there will be some people watching this video who will disagree with some of the things brought up in the video, and that's totally fine. I encourage you to let the creator know what you disagree with and why. I mean, that's what the comments section is for. But also keep in mind that this is a developing story. We are learning more about the pyramids every year, and some of the theories that we hold on to dearly may turn out to be wrong. That's just the nature of research. Sometimes new evidence comes along and changes everything. But that's also what makes this stuff so exciting. Just think about how much we have learned about the pyramids in the last century alone. Who knows what we will discover in the next century? All right, that is it for me today. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to hit that like button. Consider subscribing. We are getting really close to a major milestone. It's very exciting. Thank you to a sponsor for supporting this video. Don't forget to check out their website. All right, that is it for me today. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.